hey everyone, it's time for our podcast at Golf's Perfect Imperfections.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in and watching.
Yes, sir, and watching. That's it. Thanks, Moo. So, what a week last week was.
Yeah.
In golf.
Yeah, that was a great
I think the season has arrived.
Yeah.
We've got the West Coast that was just, doing its its finale, and the Florida Swing is starting this week with the Honda Classic at the PGA National, which is that's a really nice golf course. I remember seeing one of the senior events there. It was the senior tour at the time, and I was following Lee Trevino. And Lee Trevino was coming up number 17, and I think it was either 16 or 17 is that par 4 with the water on the side. I believe 17's a par 3. So he had 155 yards left into the green, a pretty strong crosswind. The pin was all the way at the back, and he asks Herman, which is his caddy at the time. Herman's big man, right?
Yeah.
Says, Herman, give me the 4-iron. I'm going to putt this one. And I'm going, oh, he's got my attention now, right? And he's talking to the crowd as he's going along. It's just amazing what kind of a performer Lee Trevino is. And he fires this shot off, Moo. It looked like one of your stinger drivers.
Oh, okay.
The ball didn't go higher than the ceiling in this room.
So it's about
lands, like 20 feet tops.
Wow.
Lands in front of the green, takes one hop onto the green, rolls up to the second deck, all the way to the back of the green, and lips out the left side. To which Lee Trevino replies, oh, Herman, man, I pulled it again. I mean,
it's like comical.
Isn't that nuts?
That's nuts, yeah.
I mean, to have mastery over your game like that, where, it's like, that was the one. And he's already preparing his spiel for when that ball either goes in. Yeah, I bet you had an answer for the ball going in, the ball lipping out the right or the left side, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's just like, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen on a golf course, really was. That's my number one coolest thing, was a Lee Trevino shot. So I've got very fond memories of that golf course. And I've walked around the whole place. I actually saw Jack Nicklaus inaugurate the champion, his design on the Champions course at PGA National. So we followed Jack Nicklaus throughout the whole round as he explained, and he went around the golf course with his persimmon driver. That's aging me, isn't it? He had his McGregor.
You said it, not me.
Yeah. He had his gorgeous McGregor, reddish brown persimmon that just, it sounded so good. He had those tacky leather grips on his clubs, with his beautiful interlocking grip. And he went around the golf course. One of the shots I remember him hitting was the 3-iron. I mean, he hit his iron so pure, and he had those blade McGregor irons at the time. And it was just a blast. Watching how he negotiated and explained his golf courses. This is what and then he'd mess up a shot and he'd go, well, I'm going to have to talk to the architect about that one. And then he'd hit a couple of brilliant shots and say, this is how rewarding this shot was supposed to be. This is how it's rewarding, and this is how penal it can be, So it really gave me an interesting perspective on golf course architecture. That was my first taste of that through Jack Nicklaus, and I really, really appreciate that day. So I'm looking forward to seeing the bear trap, and I hope the winds really howl, because with the crosswinds that you have on those particular par 3s, I remember Rory hitting this unbelievable shot. It's like a very small percentage of the pros were actually holding the green on the 15th. And I remember Rory starting the ball to the right of the flag with a cut. And you could see, on the tracer that it was cutting. And the ball ends up to the left of the flag. The wind was so strong. I remember one of my students going out there and watching Tiger hit balls in a crosswind. And he says, man, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen is Tiger Woods hitting a draw and a fade in the same shot. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm going, well, what direction was the wind blowing?
Right.
And he goes, I guess I didn't really think about that one.
Yeah.
He thought he was fading and drawing in the same shot.
Yeah, that's impossible.
Exactly. So, and here's a great tip on how you do that. So if I had a crosswind from right to left, and it was a strong one, like you'll get like a 3-4 club wind, crosswind, and the pin, let's say, is in the center of the green. You literally have to aim for the right side of the green and try to fade the ball to the right side of the bunker. Scariest thing ever, right? But the wind is so strong that you realize that that's what you need to do. So the ball starts to the right side of the green and tries to fade. And then it doesn't fade anymore, and then it starts to fizzle out, and then the wind brings it back the whole way back to the pin. And that's what Rory hit that shot.
The imagination you need to have is pretty good.
Oh, yeah. So that's why flight plans are so important.
Yeah.
So you say, I'm going to start it there, and I'm going to end it there. And then the wind is going to take that and put it there. And that's how you have to plan those shots.
Yeah.
And so you're going to see a lot of that in Florida. That's why to me, it's exciting golf because it's flat. There's no mountains and the trees are quite low. And so the wind is very evident and you have to play the wind.
Yeah. You have to consider the elements pretty good.
Downwind's a blast.
Yeah. That's true.
Into the wind, not so much. Especially when you got some serious water hazards to get over, and that you got plenty of. For those of you who spend your winters in Florida, you realize that there's a lot of holding ponds that need to be on a golf course where you can't dig a basement for a house because you'll hit water.
Oh.
So managing water is what Florida does best. They get canals all over the place, and you got holding ponds everywhere. So that's why it's very difficult to have a water-free golf course. So water hazards come in big bunches over there.
It's nice now watching all of the events after seeing the Full Swing documentary series.
Yeah.
Because it kind of gives you that behind-the-scenes perspective of what actually goes on out on tour and like mindsets that the players have and all that kind of stuff.
I'm only partway through the third series.
The third episode?
The third episode.
Oh my gosh, Dad, you have to catch up.
I'm relying on you guys.
But I guess we can talk about the Full Swing a little bit because everyone's talking about it right now.
I know.
So,
absolutely. Please do.
I think an episode that stood out the most to me was the Tony Finau episode, which was near the end. You haven't seen that one yet. But
I just did, actually.
Oh, you just did?
Yeah.
Okay. So I had...
That was the last one.
Yeah, I was talking to you a little bit about...
I was boobing.
Yeah.
I had a lot of tears in that one. It was good tears.
Yeah. But, it was the theme. I'm sure everybody listening has seen it by now, but I found the narrative of his episode really unfair on the journalist's perspective of things. In terms of, them saying things like, is his family a hindrance to his performance? The fact that they use the word hindrance, is your family a hindrance to you performing, is so...
Like your family's a burden. Are you kidding me?
It's so beyond unfair, and I think he said it so well in the documentary wherein he was like, well, they don't walk in my shoes.
Yeah.
These people saying these things, they don't walk in my shoes. They don't live my life every day. And I thought that was a really good way to put it because... when you hear the story about the season, I mean, his wife had just lost her father. He's lost a mother, so he knows what that's like. And he felt that obviously family comes first, and he needed to be there for his wife in that time. And so the family went out and traveled for the season with him. And I was like, that's unreal. Like the fact that, they were all together during that time was such an incredible thing. And for, the outside journalists to be like, oh, well, is his family hindering his performance? I'm like, that is so unfair.
He had one of the best seasons ever.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just led up to that. And one of the things that you'll see a lot, and then that's where it's fun that you can make the kind of money you can make out there. Because, I mean, if you're playing on a mini tour, you don't have the funds to bring your family out with you, and it's taxing. I remember, I played North Florida PGA Mini Tour. I played the Canadian Tour, and it's a grind out there, and it's very lonely. And you have to be so selfish.
That's
you
that's
really
the
do. I mean, that's the reality of it, right? Because it's all about you. It's all about your performance, and it's about your team. When Tiger over the weekend was talking about, I really want to thank my team because there's so many people involved in keeping him healthy.
Yeah,
and firing on as many cylinders as possible, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't like that probably before in the past.
Right.
Now there's more people involved.
It was a lot more closed off. I mean, you never heard about stuff like that. And it was like, this is, I need to do what I need to do, and everybody else is there to help me do that.
That's right.
And if you don't, if it's not my way, it's the highway. Literally.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
they put it out saying that most golfers are CEOs, CFOs of their own companies.
Yeah.
So they have to make those decisions.
And I remember a conversation I had with Tom Weisskopf. I had the privilege of spending a little bit of time with him, and he came up to Mont Tremblant at Le Diable with it was an IMG outing, and he sat at our table because he wanted to know the locals, because the locals know where the good fishing holes are and the good hunting spots are.
Yeah.
And man, that guy is a big gamer. He loves the hunting and fishing, a lot like Bruce Litsky. Bruce Litsky would just go out and play 15 events so he can go back home and hunt and fish.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that.
Right? Remember that last time?
Yeah.
So he came out and played a couple of holes with each one of our groups, and when he played with us, he played the two toughest holes on the course. It was one dogleg par 4, 475, and you really had to bust your drive to make the corner in order for you to, have a proper second shot into the green. And if you didn't, I mean, you had to lay up. It was crazy. He again, persimmon driver.
Yeah.
He busted his drive to that corner, had a little 7-iron into the green, and, just lipped out, almost birdied the hole. And I asked him at dinner, I said, your swing's looking amazing. And you're absolutely smoking it. Why aren't you competing? He says, Shawn, he says, ever since I started designing courses with Jay Morrish and his team, and I became a part of a team, and it was us working together for the greater good of the game, I couldn't go back to my selfish, and he used a couple of expletives on that one. I can't go back to that selfish jerk and play golf anymore that way. I won't do it. I just didn't like the guy. I didn't like myself.
Yeah.
Because of how selfish he had to be to compete. That was how he needed to be to compete. And he did win in British Open, and he did really do well on tour.
Right.
But he wasn't the most favorite player out there.
Right. Something comes out when you're out on your own.
And then when he started, becoming part of a team, he really, it was the 2.0 of Tom Weisskopf, and it was like, okay, I get that.
Yeah.
I really dig that. And then that's why my hat's off to Tony Finau.
He's such a good dude. Like we saw him at the Mexico Open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like he just has this very warm, welcoming aura about him.
Yeah.
He's like a very well-liked guy on tour.
Yes.
And, always makes people feel like included and valued and heard. And it just made me so annoyed that they would attack that. Yes. Yeah. I'm like, why is that a bad thing?
Just to get
How
clicks.
is that ever going to be a bad thing in life?
Well, if you look at what family means to, and their heritage and where they've, where they've come.
Yeah.
And it's enviable. It really is. I mean, family is such a strong part of their daily fabric.
I mean,
Yeah.
did you see the big extended family welcoming,
Yeah.
the welcome home?
Yeah. They said they couldn't even fit everyone because like there's still some other family members missing.
Like, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, that was pretty.
You know
cool.
what I mean? Like he's living.
Yeah,
his dream.
if you look at the word family in the dictionary, Tony Finau's family is right there. I mean, that's the ultimate example of it.
Yeah, so I enjoyed that episode, and then and didn't enjoy that episode at the same time because of like the narrative that they like kind of put behind it.
Yeah,
and it kind of like took away from just how
it's
amazing.
You know, there's this aura of, you know, hey, you're on the tour, you're at the highest level, you got to focus. If you don't focus, you're going to get left behind and
lose your card and stuff like that.
You know, and
but he's
it's
top tenning.
Exactly.
He's top tenning, so it's like I just have a very hard time being like, well, why is that a bad thing?
I guess it's just what Tiger left as a legacy, right?
Yeah.
It's like that resolve.
But not everybody.
You can't be Tiger. Nobody can be Tiger.
But not even that. It's just like not everybody wants that.
Exactly.
For themselves. You know what
I
mean? Like,
nailed it on the head there.
Not
son.
everybody is striving for the same kind of legacy.
Correct.
That's the whole point of it, right? It's like that's where the narrative comes from is, oh, he's such a good player, like he should be winning more. But it's like, okay, but what if he's just like happy with where he's at?
Yeah.
And like obviously he wants to win, but he's going to do that in his own way.
He's experienced many wins.
Yeah.
And he's experienced wins with his family.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. Right?
Yeah. And okay, so
home run.
Two more things. So the after yesterday's round with Max Homa, I saw a clip of one of his interviews after the round, and he said, you know, when he won the event in 2021.
Yep.
It was kind of like around the COVID area.
Wasn't it last year? Didn't Max Homa win last year?
2021.
21, okay.
It was not Joaquin Neiman that won it last year.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so
right.
He had won it in 2021, and he was emotional in his interview because he was like, I won the tournament that means so much to me, but I didn't have my family and my friends there to celebrate it with.
Yeah.
And that ties back to the Tony thing. It's like, yeah, these wins are amazing for them, but some of those guys, like, it doesn't mean as much to them if the most important people aren't there.
Exactly.
And he was literally choking back tears in the interview because he was like, I wanted to be able to win it again with the most important people in my life around me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And that was just like the coolest thing. You know what I mean?
He's an introvert. Right? You can't read him that well. But it's nice that in the press conference that he opened up that way, because when you look at him, you go, "Wow, what's he thinking?"
Yeah,
you know, I don't know what he's thinking.
So that was a cool one that kind of tied into like the Tony theme. And then another episode that stood out to me was the Scottie Scheffler episode. You and I really liked that one, and how his outlook on performance and his game is so cool, because he's like, I know that I've done everything in my powers to prepare the best that I can, and then we're just going to go see what happens when I get out there. That's
right. And that's where, I find that
he puts like the ego aside.
Well, he is a religious person, right? Mm-hmm. And when a religious person, it reminds me of, if you look at Timothy Galway, one of the best books out there that really resonates a lot with our students is The Inner Game of Tennis. Timothy Galway is a tennis pro, and so there was a follow-up to that book called Inner Tennis Playing the Game. And he talks about his match at Kalamazoo. And that's why I think Scottie Scheffler is a very dangerous competitor. Okay?
Yeah.
Because he's in a let's wait and see what God has for me today. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting in anticipation. I'm doing the best I can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to execute to the best of my abilities, and let's see where the cards fall.
Yeah.
And if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's a healthy relationship.
It's huge
because
then it's not like, oh, I have to make sure And in Timothy's story, he says he's playing against a way better seed than him. And he said, well, I've been playing some good tennis lately, and I've been working hard on my game, and I've done everything I needed to do to be here. So I'm going to leave it in God's hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to God if this happens or not.
Yeah.
So he gets into the match, and he's just kicking butt. And he's playing the tennis of his life. I mean, he's in the zone, flow, you name it, right? So he's 3 points away from putting the opponent away. And he says, okay, God, thanks for your help. I got this.
Yeah.
So then it became ego. I got this. Right?
Yeah.
Double fault. Okay, next point. Double fault again. And he goes, wait a second. And then the whole thing shifts.
Yeah.
The whole timing shifts. And tennis players are in good shape.
Yeah, these things, momentum switches very quick.
Momentum switches a lot.
Yeah.
And so he lost the match. He was way ahead of that match. The guy came all the way back, took the momentum on his side, and then he had the biggest aha moment ever. He says, I woke up too soon. Right?
That's true.
And that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
You're playing really well. You get to hole number 18, and you go, wow, if I par this hole, I have my best score ever. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I got to make sure.
Yeah.
As soon as you're in that state, it's over. You're in major defensive mode. So you're inviting the trouble now, right? So Scotty Scheffler, in that mindset, that's why it's such a powerful mindset, because the guy works his butt off.
He does, yeah. You can tell.
He's got talent up the yin-yang.
That too, yeah.
And he shows up to the big events, and then, hey, I love competing. He says, I love competing. I love getting up against these guys. But it's not up to me if I win or not.
Yeah.
Oh, man. How do you, it's hard to go up against a guy like that.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's why he's been so successful.
Yeah, and he hit the ground run at the right time, I think.
Yeah.
He's scaring a lot of guys.
If he just stays there
yeah.
and doesn't try to get out, and does, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's fun. It's fun to watch.
Yeah. It's cool to see, because we had been watching we watched the Breakpoint Netflix series before Full Swing came out, and Breakpoint is essentially the same thing as Full Swing, but on the tennis circuit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they did it in tennis too?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I heard they did it F1?
Yeah,
Yep.
F1 Drive to Survive. I've been pretty keen on that.
And then he got me hooked on it. Now I like it.
Oh, yeah?
I had
0.0
interest in F1 until he started watching that, and I was like, dang it. I
have another interest for Sav.
Yeah, the drama in F1 is very entertaining.
It's really interesting.
Very entertaining.
And it's cool. It's interesting, too, because between F1, tennis, and now the golf, there's so many similarities because they're all individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The individuality of the sport, right?
Yeah.
A little bit. I think F1 has a team aspect to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But when it's actually you driving the car, there's a team aspect behind each player, but at the end of the day, it is
it's just you.
It's just you, right?
Okay.
In tennis, your coach can't say boo to you during the match.
Yeah.
He's just on the sidelines. And
is that crazy though? It's that you do have this team behind you, but then it all everything boils down to just you in that moment,
That's
right?
right.
That's a lot. That's a lot, and I think
it's a lot of pressure. Yeah.
You're basically the sword for the team.
And I think that's how Scotty Scheffler has been able to be so successful and consistently perform well, because he's like, well, we're just going to see what happens. He's not putting
Isn't that hard, Sav? I mean, from your performances so far on the golf course, you think a lot in the future.
Yeah, for sure. That's a hard mindset to be able to put into play.
Maybe I should have brought you to church more often. I don't know.
But like it's nice seeing these behind the scenes looks, because then you can take away certain things that resonate with you, and you can apply that into your own game or into just life in general.
Just seeing the human being behind the scenes is really cool.
Yeah, it's been really, really cool. I'm excited to see, because the next series of episodes in Breakpoint come out in June, I think.
Yeah, in the summer, yeah.
And then F1's coming out in the next couple weeks, right?
Probably this week, yeah.
This week?
Wow. So there's another... So is Netflix filming on the PGA Tour right now?
Well, apparently they had like 7,000 hours worth of footage to choose from for Full Swing.
Yeah.
So
they could.
I wonder if they're going to go out on Live.
I hope
follow the Live Tour.
I hope they do, just to get insight
Just
on that
yeah,
side.
exactly. Just to get that perspective, right?
Yeah.
That would be something that would be pretty cool. I'd love to see what that is and how they've organized that and what's it like, coming in and out of those events.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to see this team format and how it plays out.
Yeah, they're playing Mexico this week at the Mayakoba.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because PGA Tour just played Mayakoba in the fall.
Oh.
Yeah, so Mayakoba just switched to Live.
Whoa.
And that's right next to the facility that you guys went and played.
Corso?
Yeah,
the Wolf.
At no
Gran Coyote.
Yeah,
Gran Coyote. Yeah, that's right.
Really nice.
Such a nice
Nick Price
course.
design.
Yeah, very beautiful course.
Nice course. Huh? You guys really enjoyed that?
So nice.
Yeah.
Loved it.
So they're in the middle of building a 9-hole course there.
That's right.
A 9-hole short course to go along with the resort condos and everything else. So they're building a nice facility around that. And but they've got a really good base with that golf course, don't they?
Oh yeah, I mean the plans that they have for that place is amazing.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. The atmosphere of the course and the design, it just feels so peaceful and tranquil. It's really cool because you have these like lush green fairways and rough, and then you have the beautiful jungle trees.
Yeah.
But then you have white kind of deserty. It's like desert vibes,
There's a buffer zone.
but bright white.
Yeah. So there's a desert buffer zone before you get into the trees.
Yeah, but it's all like white, bright white, like stone and gravel. I mean, it's beautiful.
It must really help frame your shots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Every hole's
Right?
memorable. It was pretty well designed.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm looking forward to going out and trying that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because you don't see that very often, right?
No.
And it's important to highlight, just to show the golfer what kind of a shot, they want to hit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's right.
certain golf courses, kind of you get up there and you're going, I don't know what to do here. It's like, okay, what's the yardage, and then you're standing over the shot and you're thinking, I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
You don't want to feel like that. No.
And there are a lot of golf courses like that. Like Tiger, there's a couple of golf courses that play that way for him, where he's not comfortable on the golf course. Where Firestone he loves, and you look at the U.S. Open, whatchamacallit,
What, the course?
in San Diego. Gosh, no, Torrey Pines. Oh my
Pines.
gosh. So you look at Torrey Pines, who's won 8 times there.
Yeah.
Same thing in Ohio at Firestone, 8 times. So there's certain courses that, hey, I can really perform.
Yeah, they lift your eye.
And those are the courses that you want to play.
Yeah.
And then you stay away from the courses that are ambiguous.
Yeah, like Grand Coyote, it was cool because, we played the course, 3-4 days in a row?
Yeah.
And we didn't get sick of it. Like,
You
there's
look-
some golf
you look-
courses you can get sick of pretty
Yeah,
fast.
it left us wanting more every time you left
Yeah.
it. Yeah. And,
Wow.
And you get excited to see the next hole. It's like, oh, I can't wait to go hit a shot on this hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There wasn't, I don't think there was one hole that was like, meh.
Right. So
They
you
were
basically
all
have,
good.
so you have I remember at Taboo, Mike Weir's home course up in the Muskokas where I was from 2002 to 2005. Every time I stepped up on the tee, I couldn't wait to hit the shot.
Right.
So you had, 6 solid holes,
Yeah.
6 really, really solid holes and 6 signature holes. You know when golf courses have a signature hole, you'd have, man, I don't know if it's this one, is it that one? There were 6 to choose from. So I mean, when you have a golf course like that doesn't have one weak link, it's that's fun.
It was like Wolf Creek and Mesquite.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's just cool. Like,
it's just too bad it's booked to the gills every day.
oh yeah, it's just.
and it's Mesquite, man. That's in the middle of like nowhere.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm just shocked that kind of course is in that area. Every hole was just like you pull up to the tee and you're like, wow.
Yeah. Every time you look up, like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, would you say that, what is it, St. George's that you said that was a really nice area there that's about an hour away?
Oh, St. George, Utah, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Utah's very close to Mesquite, right?
Yeah.
And what's the park that you went to? Zion Park.
Oh, gosh, that was nice.
Like you showed me some pictures of, and everywhere you looked, it's like these beautiful red, these colorful mountains all over the place, right?
Just stunning.
So I guess that when you have a piece of property that's that nice and you put a golf course on it, people are going to come.
Oh yeah. For sure. Yeah. Wolf Creek was amazing, and then I can't wait to play. Is it Sand Hollow?
St. Hollow, yeah, that's right.
In St. George.
In St. George, okay, yeah. So you guys are going to be staying there while you go to the long drive competition.
Yep.
Yeah.
March 10.
That's right. Yeah.
And I'm heading out to Dominican Republic that week.
Yeah. I'm
going to go see our friends there in Punta Cana, and right after that they have the PGA Tour event right there. So I won't. I'll be heading back, and the PGA Tour will be heading in.
Yeah.
But last time we played the course just prior to the event again, and it was like, wow, really nice, really nice golf course right by the ocean there, and the blue color, like on the Atlantic side, is like this deep turquoise color like you've never seen before. It was like, and then you go to the Caribbean side and it's just this very light turquoise color that you've never seen before either. It's like, I love that place. It's so beautiful there.
Yeah. I want to go there one day.
Looking forward to heading back.
Sure.
So.
Oh, and last thing, Moo's website.
Oh yeah. Okay.
We should have talked about this first.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Well,
we'll still mention it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got some really cool stuff coming down the pike as far as fitness, but Moo finally has, and this girl's been working her butt off.
Yeah, she did a great job. Thanks for that.
And they went to this special studio in Montreal where you could actually rent the gym for yourself and be by yourself, and like the.
It's called Silo Fit in Montreal.
Fitness trainers do. Yeah.
So we filmed all of Moo's content at those studios.
So professionally put together, professional website. And so Moo has a bunch of, speed training programs.
You wanna talk about it?
So the programs that are available for everybody on the website will be, 3 to 12 month set programs that you can purchase. A 3 month would be basic strength and functional strength to build on. And then the 6 and 12 month will be more towards golf exercises. So, stuff that Rory or Cameron Smith have done in the past.
Yeah.
And then there's also options to do one-on-one coaching with me, so I could build personal programs that cater to what your goals are from a fitness standpoint.
That's right.
And then the other one is one-on-one speed training sessions that will be included on their website as well too, if you want to build your club at speed in a healthy manner. There's also a junior program on there as well too that ranges from 13 to 18 years old. That's available for people to get on. Yeah,
that one's, with the advent of getting used to being in the gym, which I never got. Mm-hmm. So many kids are getting into the game today, and there's got to be a gym component to it if they're going to get to that next level.
For sure, yeah.
And if they want to make it all the way to the top, I mean, you just can't do it without proper fitness training now, because it's gotten to that level.
Yeah, and I've started working on with Bryce too for just speed alone.
Yes,
and he's starting to realize the potency of it on the course, because he's competing with guys that are 125, 230 miles per hour, and they're producing 30 and 40 yard drives on the course, and he's seeing how those guys are doing in conjunction with the tournaments, and it's allowing them to make it easier for them on the course.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to help them kind of build from there.
So with the juniors, like the Alabama Junior Golf Organization,
That's right,
they've got about 400 kids in there that are being competitive. And so it was really important for you to get something organized for them, because as a parent,
Yeah.
Riley right now, who's in BMX racing, he's been training now since age 14.
That's right.
And where he's now at with his training is just through the roof.
Yeah.
And it's really putting him in the pocket. Like, he's number 1 in our state, and he's number 4 in Canada. And, he's eyeballing that number 1 spot,
Yeah.
and he's got the horsepower to do it.
Yeah.
And he's continuing to build on that horsepower. And without that, it wouldn't be even a contest. He would, he would, there's no way he'd be where he's at without that fitness component.
Yeah. That's right.
And the junior area, so essentially we made it to be like when you sign up, we priced it at $59.99 for the juniors.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very accessible, and it's a 3-month program that Moo put together. And what we did as well is when you sign up, you get access to a membership area.
Yeah.
And so we have a section on there where Moo went through and filmed each exercise that they will expect to see in the program in like a 30-second kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to explain how to perform the movement so that there's no risk of injury, and they, can do their workouts in the right way.
Yeah.
So that's a big component that's on the website, is that they have access to this big video bank of 50 exercises where Moo explains how to perform the exercises. So
if you still have questions about certain exercises, I'll be a text or email away for any questions that come up.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well,
And also,
Nice work, you guys.
one other thing to note is that for the one-on-one coaching and the speed training, how we set it up is when they sign up, they also get access to the membership area, and then within that is where they book their appointments with Moo.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you just
So there's a scheduler in there.
yep.
Yeah.
So
we get organized, and then we go through the rundown of what your goals are, where you're at in your fitness literacy, and then we'll build from that point on, and then we'll start to create a record of what you can achieve and where you're going.
yeah. So the website is wisdomandmovement.com.
Yeah.
And it's WZDMNMVMT. So the abbreviated version of Wisdom and Movement.
Wisdom,
Yeah.
WZDM, N,
Yeah.
N,
Yep.
movement, MVMT.
Yep.
Yeah.
See? If I can do it, you guys can do it.
But the links will be available in the descriptions. It'll be on Moo's Instagram.
It's on my website. So if you go to wisdomandgolf.com, and you'll see the fitness, that is now forwarding to your website now, isn't it?
Yeah. If you go to fitness nutrition on Shawn's wisdomandgolf.com.
There you go. See, another avenue for you to come through.
So-
Yeah. It'll be available there.
And
Fantastic.
if you can't find it for some weird reason, just leave a comment and we'll give you the link.
Absolutely. You go info@wisdomandgolf.com. I'm right there, and I will point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
All right. Well, great show, you guys. Thanks very much. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll see you next week.
All the best.
Take care, guys.
I love that music, by the way. Best intro ever.